Before seeing what an operating system is, let's first see what is meant by a computer system. Okay, see, a computer system is nothing but it is a combination of hardware, software, and data which are used to solve the problem of human beings. Okay, see, as a user, we wanted to solve our problems. Okay, for example, I wanted to access a web page, it's a problem. I wanted to edit my photograph, it's a problem. Okay, all these are problems of human beings. Now, in order to solve these problems, we use a computer system. Okay, we use a by saying we use a computer system, I mean we use hardware devices, some hardware devices, some softwares. Softwares are nothing but programs. Okay, software and programs both mean one and the same, and data. Okay, for example, let us assume I wanted to edit my photograph. Okay, which is a problem. Editing a photograph is a problem. Now, to solve this problem, we use hardware. Hardware means we use hardware devices in our computer, right? See, by hardware I mean we have CPU. Okay, see, the most important part in our computer is central processing unit or CPU. Okay, it is nothing but a small chip. Okay, it is a chip. Now, what this chip will do is it will fetch the programs. Okay, program means software, you know that. Okay, the programs will be stored inside the RAM or memory. Now, what the CPU will do is it will fetch the program from the memory and then it will execute it. Okay, any operation you do in our computer is being done with the help of CPU. Okay, anything you do, CPU needs to execute an instruction for it. See, instruction is nothing but a part of a program. Okay, you can think of it like a line of a program. A collection of instructions are also called as a program. Fine. Now, the main functionality of our computer system is nothing but execution by the CPU, central processing unit. Now, that is one important hardware device we use in our computer. The second most important device is nothing but memory. Okay, memory. See, we have various levels of memory in our computer. Okay, we have by simply saying memory, actually we mean RAM. Okay, random access memory. But apart from that, there are various types of memory. One important part is, as I said, it is RAM. Okay, the second most important memory system is hard disk. We also use other memory systems like cache, registers, and all this. Okay. See, computers work on the basis of stored program concept. Okay, what does it mean is, in order to solve the problem of human beings, we write programs. Okay, now what we do is we store the program inside the memory. Okay, we will store the program inside the memory. Now, what will happen is this CPU, central processing unit, the chip, will take the program line by line or instruction by instruction, and then it will execute it. Okay, that is how the problem of human beings are solved today. See, any software we use today in our computer, it has a program at the back end. Okay, for example, if you are using MS Word, now Microsoft should have written a program for MS Word, and that program will be stored inside your hard disk. Okay, and for execution, the program will be moved from hard disk to RAM. And what will happen is CPU will fetch the program line by line, that program written by MS Word, right? Microsoft. That program will be fetched by the CPU line by line, and it will execute it, as a result of which we are able to use the software as we were using today. Okay, see, why are we actually moving the program from hard disk to RAM is different. That is an important point which is discussed in the next video. Okay, which will be discussed in the next video. Fine. Now, as of now, understand that any program which CPU wants to execute has to be present inside the RAM. Okay, random access memory. We have a hard disk. Okay, which is an important part. Now, the program will be moved into the RAM, and this is our CPU. What the CPU will do is it will fetch the program. Let us assume this is MS Word. Okay, this is a program, and this program will be stored inside the RAM. And what our CPU will do is it will fetch the program line by line, and then it will execute it. As a result of which we are able to use the software as we were using today. Okay. Fine. Not just MS Word. You take any software, whether it be Google Chrome, whether it be Photoshop, any software you take, there should be a program which should be running at the back end. Okay, a program is also called as a software. Now our central processing unit will actually take the program line by line and then it will execute it. So fine. So the most important thing which will be present inside our RAM is program. Now apart from program, there will be something called as the data. Okay, data. See, without the data, our software is useless, right? Without data, why do you want to use a software? For example, if you are editing a photo, if you are using Photoshop, which is a software, you need some photographs to edit. Okay, those photographs we say that as data. A data is nothing but any information, any raw data. For example, you take images, video file, audio file, text file, anything you take, all this we say that as data. Okay, now a combination of hardware, software and data are actually used in order to solve the problem of human beings. Okay, this is what our computer system is actually doing. Any problem you want to solve in our computers, we actually write programs. Okay, fine. Now one question you might ask is, why are we using these many levels of memory? Okay, rather than using only one memory system, why are we using RAM, hard disk, cache and register? See, actually all of them are doing only one thing. They are nothing, they are actually either storing program or data within them, right? So that CPU can fetch them and then execute it. That's what we are doing it. Now one question you might ask is, why are we using these many levels of memory? The reason is very simple. Okay, we are using these many levels of memory because every memory system has its own advantages as well as disadvantages. Okay, see, coming to cache and registers, we can see it a bit later. Okay, don't think about it too much because this is actually covered in case of computer organization and architecture. Okay, this is not very important coming to operating systems. In order to understand operating systems, these two memory systems you should be very comfortable with. Okay, now what this RAM, the difference between RAM and hard disk is very simple. Okay, whatever you store in hard disk is actually permanent. Okay, the data which you store in hard disk is permanent, which means in case if you store some data inside the hard disk, the data will remain permanent. Okay, but that is not the case coming to RAM. The data which you store in RAM doesn't guarantee you it doesn't mean that the data is actually permanent. Once the power gets off, okay, whenever you are using a computer and in case if the data is inside the RAM, in case if the power goes off and your computer got disconnected from the current, then what will happen is the data will get lost. Okay, that is the disadvantage with RAM and that is the advantage with hard disk. Okay, fine. Now but there is an advantage with RAM comparing to hard disk. The thing is, accessing either a program or data from RAM is actually very fast comparing to hard disk, which means the access time of RAM is a million times faster than that of hard disk. Okay, see, in order to access an instruction from the hard disk, it will take a lot of time. Okay, within that and during that time you could have accessed a million instructions through the RAM. Okay, so I can say that a RAM is million times faster than that of hard disk. Actually, this million is not an exact number, it really varies based on implementation. For example, it depends on the size of the RAM, right? Size of the RAM actually decides the speed. The more bigger the RAM you have, the more faster your computer will be. Okay, why you will understand it once you get into multi-programming concept. Okay, we have in this course. Once you get into multi-programming, you will understand why increasing the size of the RAM is actually increasing the speed of our computer. Okay, fine. So the advantage with hard disk is data which you store is permanent. The advantage with RAM is access time is very fast. So now we as a user want both these advantages. Okay, we don't want both these disadvantages. That is fine. Anyway, we need to tolerate with it to some extent. But what we want is we want both these advantages. One thing is our data should be permanent. The second point is we need to access the data in a very fastly. Okay, so what we do is we have both these memory systems. One is RAM and this is hard disk. Now any data you take in our computer will definitely present inside the hard disk. Okay, so either it is a program or it is a data or whatever it is will be present inside the hard disk. Now the biggest problem is the time taken by the CPU to access this data will take very long time, right? That is what the disadvantage with hard disk. Now to avoid that disadvantage, what we do is we actually move this data inside the RAM. Okay, so that our CPU can access the data very fastly. Okay, so we got both the advantages. Okay, we got both the advantages. One advantage is that the data which we are storing is permanent. See, actually one important point you need to note here is the data is actually copied and pasted into the RAM. Okay, it is not cut paste. It is like copy paste. Okay, which we do in our computers. Which means if this has to be moved inside the RAM, a copy of this will be created and it will be moved into the RAM. Okay, which means this will be present both in RAM as well as in hard disk. Why? Because in case if the data gets lost inside the RAM, it is still present inside the hard disk, right? We want permanent data. Fine. So we are able to get both the advantages. One thing is we are able to access the data or program very fastly through the RAM, as well as we are able to have our data permanently inside the hard disk. So both these problems have been solved by using both the memory systems. Okay, we are able to get both the advantages by using both these memory systems. So this is the reason we use various levels of memory systems. Okay, cache and register are a bit more complex actually, and you don't need to understand it very clearly to understand this subject of operating systems. Okay, it is mainly covered in computer organization and architecture. Okay, fine.